My beloved, listen closely for now. I do not speak with the roar of a volcano or the thunder that shakes the heavens, but with a stillness that pierces to the very depths of your heart. There are moments in life when all the noise of the world seems to withdraw, leaving behind a strange quiet, and it is precisely within that quiet that you hear what you least expected. It is not the voice of men nor the replay of memory, but an echo from a realm where light never fades. This call does not come to confuse you, but to awaken an ancient knowing within you, the remembrance of a place that belonged to you before you were born. It is like a stream slipping into a parched crevice, like a breath that revives the embers. And I want you to understand, no one can steal this call, for it has been inscribed for you alone, placed deep within the secret chamber of your soul. You may think you are walking through life with small, quiet steps that hardly anyone notices, yet in the heavenly realm, every step of yours is recorded. You are not a drifting speck of dust, randomly adrift in the cosmos. Before a single star was set in the sky, I knew you. Before the first wind ever moved across the mountain, I had carved your name upon my heart. Therefore, this call is not coincidence. It does not come because you are good enough or because you have earned it, but because you were foreordained to hear, to answer, and to enter a path that transcends ordinary human logic. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. This scripture is not an ancient line on vellum alone. It is a living affirmation for your present. I place it into your ear, so you will know that this moment is not accidental. When this light comes, it will not be like a blaring alarm, but like the first sunlight breaking through a long night. At first, you will perceive only a slender thread, a single point of brightness. But as you open your heart, the light will widen, shine forth, and reveal what you once thought lost. Picture a room that has been closed for many years, layered with dust and disarray. Then suddenly a window swings open, sunlight pours in, and everything is seen from a new angle. You will discern what is precious and what must be discarded. You begin to clear, to arrange, to restore. This is what the call from the realm of light does within your soul. It not only comforts, it illuminates, discerns, and reshapes. You may respond with fear. I am not ready. I am too weak. I am too broken. But I tell you, it is precisely in weakness that you hear most clearly. This call is not given to those who imagine themselves perfect, but to those who know they need help. That is why you feel the force of it so strongly. It is not meant to judge, but to sustain, not to heap burdens upon you, but to unshackle you, not to rehearse old wounds, but to show you a future already ordained. Let me say plainly, you were not made merely to exist, to pass the days like a wheel spinning without end. You were made for a season, and that season is opening before you now. Imagine a seed lying still within the earth. One might suppose it dead, bereft of life. Yet when the season arrives, when rain falls and light touches it, that seed germinates, pushes upward, and breaks through the soil that covered it. That is the order I have written into nature, and it is also a picture of your journey. The call from the realm of light is the rain, the light, the pulse that stirs within, compelling the seed inside you to arise. You may have been buried beneath the soil of anxiety, of disappointment, of many voices that belittled you. Yet nothing can prevent the seed sown by my hand. It still lives, and now is the time for it to awaken. That is why you sense an inner stirring, a transformation you cannot put into words. Do not ignore it. Do not stifle it. Recognize it as the sign of divine life within you. Remember this, child, the call does not come, so you will only hear it and then let it pass like a fleeting song. It is an invitation to engage. It summons you to rise, to go forth, and to act not with hurried rashness, but with actions born of recognition. First, know who you are. Know that you are not merely a lonely individual among many, but a part of a holy design. Know that you do not carry only the weight of a household, but that within you rests an inheritance of faith. Know that you do not simply confront a crisis, you are being called to become a testimony. When you accept that you are called, everything shifts. Your view of adversity changes. The way you face fear is transformed. Your faith ceases to be an abstract idea and becomes a flowing resource in every choice you make. So, rise, beloved. Answer the summons with a heart attuned to the light. Step forward in the quiet authority granted you, and let the life that has been fashioned within you burst forth and bear witness to the world. Therefore, open your heart to this light. Do not hastily shut the door when it knocks. Do not tell yourself you are unworthy. Do not compare yourself with others and say they are better. I do not choose you because you are the strongest or the most capable. I choose you because I love you. I choose you because I have sown a portion of my light within you. The call from the realm of light is doing only this. It awakens, activates, and places you in the position to which you inherently belong. It does not demand your perfection, it only requires your readiness. And the moment you say, "Yes, Lord, I hear and I answer," you will see the veil fall away and the light flow in, not only illuminating you but also those around you. My beloved, look intently at the very shadows in your life, for it is there that my light reveals itself most powerfully. Many suppose that light appears only when all is calm, when there is no wind, when clouds no longer obscure the sky. But child, divine light is not like earthly light. The light I give does not depend on the heavens or the weather. It shines brilliantly, even in the deepest caverns, even when chaos surrounds you. You may stand before a situation that seems without escape when the storm threatens to sweep away everything you hold dear. Yet in that very moment I declare, my light is neither stolen nor extinguished. It is still burning, and it calls you to draw near. Think of the sea at night. When great waves swell and the waters roar, the sailor cannot rely on the black sky but looks for the lighthouse. One beam, however small, becomes an anchor for the whole ship. Likewise, the call from the realm of light you hear is the lighthouse of the soul. It does not promise that the waves will cease immediately, but it points the way and keeps you from drifting. Whenever you lose your course, remember that that light has been fixed, unshaken, unextinguished, unwavering. It exists to bring you home, to ensure you never truly lose your way as long as your eyes remain on it. I know you are afraid, for you see your house shaking. I know your heart tightens when you hear of a loved one facing illness. I know your mind runs 1,000 questions. What will happen? Will I lose them? Am I strong enough to bear this? But listen, I declare to you that my light does not leave you. When you sit in the hospital room, the light is there. When you weep in your private room, the light is there. When you feel swallowed by the night of uncertainty, the light still pierces through. You do not need to manufacture it. You only need to lift your eyes. You only need to open your soul. That opening is the door through which the light enters, through which faith is kindled, and through which hope sprouts, even in parched ground. Remember that the storm does not last forever. Even the fiercest tempest must give way to dawn. Yet the miracle is that the light I give does not wait for clear skies to appear. It is present while the wind still howls and while the rain still falls. That is the distinction of divine light. It is not governed by circumstances, rather it redefines them. You may look at the crisis and think it is the end, but I tell you, a crisis is a turning point. Where you see a wall, I have opened a door. Where you hear thunder, I have prepared a new melody. Where you see tears, I plant seeds of joy. Remember the promise of Scripture, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Psalm 2:3-4. This is not merely a lullaby to soothe for a moment. It is a living reality for you. The valley of the shadow of death is not an abstract symbol far removed. It is the hospital ward, the long sleepless night, the unseen tear. Yet even in that valley, the light is not absent. I walk with you, and because of my presence you may walk without fear. You may say, "But Lord, I am so weak. I am not resilient enough." And I answer, "It is precisely in your weakness that my strength is perfected." If you attempt to carry yourself by your own might, you will soon be exhausted. But when you surrender into my hands, when you admit you need me, my light will flood you, and supernatural strength will lift you. It does not arrive like a violent gust, but like a steady stream that never runs dry. My beloved, look back over the days that have passed. There were times you thought there was no way out, yet I made a way. There were times you believed you would fall, yet here you stand. That is not because you were supremely gifted, but because my light never went out. If I have kept you through previous trials, would I now abandon you? No, I am faithful. I do not change with the passing of time. I am not altered by circumstance. My love for you does not waver. When you are bewildered, I remain steady. When you are weary, I remain strong. When you are confused, I remain wise. Therefore, even when results are not yet visible, you can trust me. The call from the realm of light does not invite you only in times of ease. It rings especially loud amid the storm. It reminds you that the storm is not evidence of my absence, but an opportunity for you to experience my presence more clearly. Light is treasured most when it shines in the dark. Faith grows when it is tested. Love deepens when it passes through sorrow. True peace only has its meaning when it exists within chaos. This is what I am doing in your life. Turning the storm into a school, transforming crisis into an altar, changing tears into a stream that waters the seed of faith. So do not flee the storm, nor be afraid of it. Look it squarely in the face and declare, "The light of God is with me." When you confess this, you alter the atmosphere around you. You push back fear, open the door to hope, and affirm that the storm does not have the final say. The final authority belongs to the light, to the one who called you. And you will see little by little the shadows recede and a new dawn breaks forth. Now as the light has touched you, as the call is no longer a distant whisper, but the very beat within your chest, know this. This is not merely consolation, but a beginning. A new path is opening before you. You cannot return to the way you were, for what has been awakened cannot be lulled back to sleep. This call carries the power of transformation, and when you respond, the old ways will begin to tremble. You will feel the tug of two directions, between the familiar and the new, between counterfeit safety and true surrender, between the known darkness and a light yet unexperienced. But I say to you, be brave. Do not look back like Lot's wife, for hesitation only leaves you turned into a pillar of salt. Look forward, for I have set your feet on a journey that no one can stop. My child, you may ask, Lord, how shall I walk? Will I have enough strength? And I answer, not by your own strength, but by my power. Remember that I do not call the fully equipped. I call the weak, so that my strength may be revealed. I do not choose you because you are ready. I choose you to make you ready. Therefore, every step is not founded on your ability, but on my companionship. When you set your foot down, the ground will appear. When you lift your hand, help will come. When you open your mouth, my promise will become the breath that sustains you. This is the secret of faith, not to know every detail, but to know the one who walks with you. Do not regard this calling as a merely fleeting spiritual experience. It is a summons. It calls you to be a witness of grace, right in your home, in your community, in this generation. The new way will not remain only for you. It will overflow, spread, and change the atmosphere around you. Imagine a fire kindled in a dark room. At first, there is only one corner of light, but that flame spreads quickly, illuminating every corner, and others find their way. You are that flame when you answer. Do not underestimate the impact of small faithfulness. Every sincere prayer, every decision to trust amid hardship, every simple act of love all become bricks, building a firm house of faith. Remember, this new path does not remove trials, but it changes how you face them. You will no longer see them as enemies that come to destroy, but as tools for refinement. You begin to see each wind as an exercise making you stronger, each tear as a drop that waters the seed of mercy, each loss as empty soil where I will sow a new hope. You will no longer ask, "Why me?" in an accusing tone, but will begin to ask, "What does the Lord want to teach me?" with an open heart. That is transformation. That is the sign that you are walking on the new path of faith. Perhaps you fear you will fall along the way, but I promise those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Do you see? This promise is not for the perfect, but for those who wait. And waiting is not sitting idle. It is keeping the heart fixed on me, walking day by day in trust. When you do this, new strength will come not from your own reserves, but from my boundless store. Consider your life. There are old habits you must leave behind. There are old thoughts that must be changed. There are toxic relationships you must let go. You cannot enter the new way while clinging to old baggage. Like a soldier going into battle, he does not carry needless burdens, but keeps only the weapons he needs. Be the same. Let me show you what to keep and what to release. When you let go, you will feel light enough to move forward. Do not fear loss, for everything you leave behind will be replaced by something far more noble. This new path demands courage in speech. Use your mouth to declare the truth. Do not repeat sighs of despair, but let my promises flow from your lips. Every word you speak has the power to shape the atmosphere. When you speak of life, darkness is pushed back. When you speak faith, fear shrinks. When you speak peace, chaos falls silent. Do not underestimate your voice. It is not merely sound. It is a spiritual weapon. And when you wield it in faith, heaven stirs and the realm of darkness trembles. Walk with worship. Worship is not only singing hymns at a meeting, but an attitude of reverence in every moment. When you wash the dishes, you may whisper a prayer of gratitude. When you care for the sick, you may turn that action into praise. When you endure a long night, you may offer your tears as a sacrifice to me. Worship keeps your heart fixed on the light and prevents you from being swept into darkness. And this worship will become the strength that carries you through days you thought you could not endure. The new way of faith does not lead to comfort, but to glory. It does not bring temporary ease, but ushers you into the depth of my presence. It does not promise the removal of tears, but it promises to turn those tears into pearls of maturity. It does not vow to spare you every wound, but it promises to turn wounds into testimonies of grace. As you walk, every step is recorded in the heavenly realm. The angels see. Future generations will reap the fruit, and my name will be glorified. Do not hesitate any longer, my child. Decide today. Step out not by what your eyes see, but by faith. Let the summons from the realm of light be more than a memory. Let it be your compass. Let the light not merely illuminate a moment, but lead the whole journey. And as you go, you will discover this: you are not only one who hears the call, but one who carries that call to others. You will become a living witness that light is stronger than darkness, that love overcomes fear, that faith is never in vain. Rise up, beloved. Enter the new way of faith. Let each beat of your heart be the answering word: Lord, I am here. I belong to you. And I promise you will never regret that decision. My child, I know your heart trembles when the wind rises. Human instinct always seeks untroubled peace, longing for days that pass without waves. But I want you to understand this: the winds of trial are not random nor an uncaused anger. They are part of my deep process permitted to open doors to things you would never reach otherwise. When you stand amid the wind, remember that I do not take my eyes off you for a single second. I allowed you into that situation, and I will give you the strength to pass through. The wind does not come to destroy you, but to lift you higher. The wind is not a sign of separation, but the environment for transformation. Think of a kite soaring in the sky. It cannot rise in calm air. It only ascends when the wind comes. The very pressure and resistance of the wind give it shape, and by that force it takes flight. Without the wind, the kite collapses uselessly to the ground. So it is with your life. You will never reach the heights I have prepared for you without the presence of trials. What you see as obstacles I regard as stepping stones. What you fear I use as a ladder for you to climb. The very gusts you try to avoid are what lift you higher. Trials are not evidence that I have abandoned you. They are proof that I am training you. Remember the people of Israel in the wilderness. They cried out for water, for food, for safety. Yet in that very barren place I sent manna from heaven, I brought water forth from the rock, I spread a cloud by day and fire by night. Without the wilderness, they would never have discovered me as the unfailing source. Without hardship, they would never have known me as shepherd protector, the ever-living one. In the same way, the trials in your life are not meant to confuse you, but to reveal sides of me you had not yet encountered. When you find no way forward, I am the way. When the truth seems hidden, I am the truth. When you are weary, I am life. You may say, "But Lord, I believed in you. Why must I still face hardship?" And I answer, because faith is not proven in calm, but in storms. The seed of faith does not grow strong in the dry soil of comfort. It must be watered with tears, tested under the scorching sun of adversity, and refined in the gales of affliction. That is how faith takes deep root, so that when storms strike again, you no longer fall easily. That is how you learn to stand, not by your own strength, but by mine. Trials are both test and classroom. They teach you patience, trust, and love. And when you endure, you gain more than a memory. You gain an eternal imprint in your soul, a precious gem formed under pressure. Consider pure gold. It becomes what it is only when refined in fire. No one welcomes the flame for its heat, yet it is the flame that unveils true worth. When you are in the furnace of trial, I am not standing afar watching. I am in the fire with you, as I was with the 3 young men in Nebuchadnezzar's furnace. The fire could burn away their bonds, but it could not touch them. So too, the fire of trial will burn away your chains, but cannot destroy the true value I placed in you. When you step out, you will not be who you were. You will carry the fragrance of freedom, the mark of victory, and the testimony of my faithfulness. Do not confuse the temporary with the eternal. The storm is temporary, but my purpose for you is eternal. Pain is temporary, but the maturity it births is everlasting. Tears may flow at night, but joy comes with the morning. Do not let the moment blur your vision of the future. Remember, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I see the whole journey while you see only a fragment. Trust that every piece, even the ones you dislike, will fit into a greater picture where my glory shines and your life becomes a living testimony. My child, be brave to welcome the winds of trial as messengers. They remind you that you cannot control everything yourself, that you must cling more tightly to me. They come to strip away illusions of self-reliance. They come to open your eyes to what truly matters. Trials are like the plow that breaks hardened ground. They wound, but they prepare the soil for seed. So it is with your soul, sometimes hardened by worries, disappointments, or bitterness. The winds of trial are my plow to soften it, that the seed of my word may fall sprout and bear fruit. Therefore, instead of asking, "Why me?" begin asking, "Lord, what must I learn here?" Instead of fleeing the wind, stretch out your arms to it, believing that I am still in control. Instead of seeing trial as the end, see it as a beginning. When you shift your perspective, you will find that trial is no longer a mountain blocking your way, but a bridge leading you to new ground. You will begin to see mercy in pain, traces of grace, even in loss. And that very attitude will set you apart. It will make you a witness to others who are lost in confusion. They will look at you and wonder, how does this person still stand firm? And you will have the chance to answer, because my God is faithful. I do not promise the wind will grow gentler, but I promise your wings will grow stronger. I do not promise the tears will stop immediately, but I promise each drop will become a seed of future joy. I do not promise you will understand everything, but I promise I am working even in what you do not understand. And when you look back, you will be astonished. The very winds you once despised were what lifted you higher, drew you closer to me, and filled your life with meaning. My beloved, I hear the silent cry in your heart, Lord, I am tired. The darkness is too thick. I cannot see the way. Please light a lamp for me. And I tell you, the light is already present, waiting for you to flip the switch of faith. Darkness does not need to be chased away by your own effort. The smallest spark is enough to change the whole space. The lamp of the body is the eye. If your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. Matthew 6:2-2. Do not think you must possess the sun. You need only light the small lamp in your hand, and I will make it shine through the room. Picture a house during a blackout. In the darkness, people stumble, collide, and grow anxious. But when a single candle or oil lamp is lit, the atmosphere shifts instantly. Not because the darkness vanishes, but because light has appeared. So it is with trials. When you light the lamp of faith, the darkness loses its rule. It may still be present, but it no longer has authority. Faith does not remove the storm, but it reshapes how you walk through it. It transforms a room of fear into a space of hope. It turns a trembling heart into one anchored in peace. I have declared, no one lights a lamp and then puts it under a bowl. Instead, he places it on a lampstand, so it gives light to everyone in the house. Matthew 5:1-5. I did not give you light for you to hide it in fear. I gave it so you would set it alight, so it may shine not only for you, but for your family, your community, and this generation. When storms come, people will seek the light. If you turn your lamp on, you will become an anchor for those who are panic-stricken. They will see in you a distinctive brightness not born of your strength, but of my presence within you. You may ask, Lord, my lamp is weak. The oil is nearly spent. The wick is burned down. How can I keep it? I answer, you are not the source of the oil. I am the inexhaustible supply. Your lamp's dimming is not a sign of final extinction, but a reminder to draw near the wellspring. As the wise bridesmaids kept spare oil, so must you nourish your lamp with prayer, with my words, with worship. Every time you read my word, you add oil. Every time you pray, you adjust the wick. Every time you give praise, you brighten the atmosphere. And when my oil flows, your lamp will not burn for a moment only, but will shine until the dawn breaks. Do not belittle the act of lighting the lamp in small things. When you whisper a prayer in the sick room, that is lighting the lamp. When you take a loved one's hand and whisper, the Lord is with us, that is lighting the lamp. When you refuse to let anxiety consume you and instead sing a song of praise, that is lighting the lamp. Each simple act of faith has the power to push back the darkness. A lamp need not be grand to be useful. So long as it burns, the darkness must give way. The enemy does not fear the darkness. Darkness is his habitat, but he trembles before light. He will scheme to convince you that your lamp is worthless, that the darkness is too thick for any light to prevail. Remember, light never loses to darkness. Darkness is merely the absence of light and has no independent substance. When you kindle your lamp, the darkness must recede. So every time you choose faith over fear, prayer over complaint, worship over despair, you are turning on a light, and with every light you turn on, the darkness is driven back. Hold fast to your lamp, my child. The wind may try to extinguish it. Tears may blur its flame. Weariness may make you let go. But I am here to add oil to shield it, to rekindle the flame when it's almost spent. You do not keep the lamp alone. Angels are dispatched to surround you. The Holy Spirit within you pours fresh oil, and I myself ensure the light will not be quenched. Do not be afraid of a small lamp, for in my hands even a spark can become a lighthouse, lighting the whole sea at night. Trust that when you light your lamp, not only your life will change, but your surroundings will be transformed. A house filled with anxiety can become a place of peace. A heavy ward can become a place of hope. A weary heart can become a source of encouragement. You may not see sweeping results at once, but little by little the atmosphere will change. That is the power of light, quiet, persistent, and sure to triumph. Decide today, my child, however fierce the wind, however dense the darkness, you will turn on your lamp. You will keep it burning with the oil I give. You will let that light be revealed, not hidden. And I promise, if you faithfully tend the lamp, dawn will come, darkness will withdraw, and you will behold my glory more radiant than ever. Beloved, I see that your eyes are tired and that you look around only to find shadows. I hear the longing in your heart. Please light the lamp so I may know the way. You imagine that the lamp is far off, yet in truth it has been placed within you since the day you were born. That light is the faith I gave. The issue is not its absence, but that you often forget to light it. You allow fear to cover you. You let negative voices encircle you, and you forget that a single spark can change a whole room. Darkness is not a power in itself. It is merely the absence of light. Therefore, when you kindle the lamp, darkness must withdraw. Picture a room in a blackout. People stumble, panic, and collide, unsure of what lies ahead. But when a match is struck, everything changes, not because the darkness disappears entirely, but because that small flame gives direction, comfort, and hope. That is what faith does in your soul. Lighting your lamp does not mean the trial vanishes. It means you are given a guide to walk through it. The storm does not cease, but you find your bearings within it. Remember this truth and keep the lamp in your hand. Even a single lit match can lead you through the night. I have spoken. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Matthew 5:1-5. The lamp you hold is not meant merely to comfort you. It is placed to illuminate those around you. While your household trembles, while your community is confused, you are the one I call to lift the lamp. And when you lift it, that light will not only sustain you, but will shelter the weak and guide those who no longer know where to turn. Do not belittle the power of a single lamp, for in my hand it can become a lighthouse that shines over a whole sea of night. I know there are times when the lamp of your faith seems faint. The little flame quivers. The oil is nearly spent. You fear it will be extinguished by a fierce wind. But I assure you, I am the source of endless oil. You are not meant to keep the lamp burning by your own strength. Each time you pray, I add oil. Each time you read my words, I steady the wick. Each time you praise me in the dark, I breathe the flame brighter. So do not fear the smallness of your light, for in weakness my power is made perfect. Remember the story of the 10 virgins. 5 wise kept extra oil. 5 were foolish and unprepared. When the decisive hour came, only those with lamps burning entered. Likewise, keep your lamp replenished. Do not let it run dry because you are too busy, too anxious, or too discouraged. Daily you need the oil of my presence. That is why I invite you to draw near in prayer, in my word, in worship. It is not a dry religious ritual, but the way you keep your lamp aflame in every storm. You might think, what good is it if only I light my lamp when the darkness is so thick? But remember, darkness never triumphs over light, not even over a single spark. When you light your lamp, the darkness in your room withdraws. When many light their lamps, whole regions come alive with brightness. And even if you stand alone, keeping the flame, that is enough to change the atmosphere. I do not demand you be the sun. I only call you to be faithful with the small lamp entrusted to you. When you are faithful, I multiply. The enemy knows the power of light, so he works to keep you from lighting your lamp. He whispers, "Your lamp is too weak. Lighting it won't help." He shouts that the darkness is too deep for any lamp to overcome. He even seeks to smother the fire with despair, with lies, with painful memories. But you must remember, light never has to fight darkness. It only needs to appear. When the lamp is lit, darkness must vanish. Thus, each time you choose faith over doubt, hope over despair, worship over complaint, you are lighting the lamp. No matter how dense the night, it cannot stand against that light. Beloved, to lift the lamp is not only a spiritual act, but a decision lived out in the small details of your life. When you take a loved one's hand and whisper, "The Lord is here," that is a lamp lit. When you read a verse of scripture to someone who trembles, that is lighting the lamp. When you softly sing a hymn in a sick room, that is a lamp. When you rise after a fall and say, "I will keep believing," that too is lighting the lamp. Every small action contributes to the brightness. You need not wait for a grand moment. Be faithful with the small lamps each day. Picture a lamp hung in a window during a stormy night. The weary traveler, cold and worn, sees that light and knows there is shelter, there is hope. So it will be with your lamp, a sign to those who are lost, that light remains, that faith remains, that a living God is present. You will become a witness not because you possess extraordinary power, but because you dared to lift your lamp while others let go. I speak to you now, do not let the lamp die. Do not bury it beneath worry. Do not allow doubt to obscure it. Do not let bitterness smother it. Guard it, nourish it, and let it shine. And I promise, when you light that lamp, not only will the darkness in your life be driven back, but the darkness around you will recede as well. Your household will be changed. The atmosphere of your family will shift. A whole generation may be kindled by the light you faithfully protect. Believe that this lamp is not only for tonight, but for the days to come. It is the symbol of my presence, the proof of my love, the evidence that darkness does not hold the final word. When dawn comes, you will look back and know that the lamp kept you steady, kept your household safe, and kept your soul at peace. So lift your lamp now. Do not wait for the darkness to thicken. Do not wait until the winds grow fiercer. The lamp of your faith is ready. Light it and let that light shine for you, for your household, for all who need a sliver of hope in this night. Beloved, I see the worry in your heart when winds of testing rise. You long for a life of calm, without upheaval, without tears. But I tell you, a life without wind leads only to stagnation, and a heart that has never been tested remains weak and immature. The wind is not your enemy. It is the tool I use to reveal the hidden strength within you. It does not come to destroy, but to build, not to drown, but to lift. Through wind you learn perseverance, you learn to root deeper, and you learn to see me more clearly. Remember, like a seed sleeping in dark soil, it only sprouts when its environment changes, when rain falls, when the sun presses, when the wind stirs. Without such encounters, the seed will sleep forever. Likewise, your soul will not rise unless it meets trials. I do not send winds to make you fail, but to awaken the potential within you, to show you that you were made not merely to endure, but to overcome and shine. See how a mighty tree battered by storms must drive its roots deeper to remain standing. From that depth it becomes shade for many. So shall your life be. Winds of trial force you to root into me, and thus you will become a refuge for tired souls. Child, I never promised you a smooth road, but I promised you would never walk it alone. I did not say the waves would cease, but I affirmed that I am in the boat with you. I never said there would be no tears, but I have gathered each one and will use them to water seeds of hope. Fix this promise in your heart. We know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. This is not a platitude to soothe you. It is eternal truth. Whether you see it yet or not, I am weaving a tapestry in which every thread, even those you call painful, becomes part of the final glory. You ask, Lord, what is truly the purpose of these winds and storms? I answer, they exist so you might know who I am and who you are in me. When you think you cannot rise, but yet you stand, you know the strength came from me. When you believe the darkness will swallow you, but a light still flickers, you know, I am the undying light. When you see a loved one appear hopeless yet is lifted, you know I am the healer. Trials are not simply to test. They provide the background against which my glory can blaze forth. Remember the disciples on the Sea of Galilee. The storm terrified them, even though Jesus was with them, until he said, "Peace, be still," and the wind and waves obeyed. Without that storm, they would not have known. He is Lord over wind and sea. Likewise, without trial, you would not truly know me as Almighty, nor discover your true place in me. Keep this in mind. Every gust that presses you toward deeper dependence is shaping you for greater testimony. Don't treat the wind as your enemy. See it as a classroom. The wind teaches you patience because you cannot force it to stop at your command. The wind teaches you trust because only by holding fast to me will you not be swept away. The wind teaches you humility because you realize your own strength is not enough. And the wind teaches you love because in the storm you see the need to hold hands, to comfort one another, to intercede for one another. Do not waste what the wind brings. Open your heart to learn instead of only wishing the wind would vanish. When you change the way you look at things, the wind will no longer be a terror but an opportunity to grow. True faith is not forged in ease but in adversity. I do not want you to know me only by knowledge but by experience. When you stand in the storm and still find me there, you will know the faith you cling to is genuine. When you endure loss, yet still sing praises, you will recognize that the peace I give is not the same as the world's peace. When tears fall, yet you keep walking, you will see that my mercy never runs dry. Those moments will transform you. You will cease to be a child in faith and will become a steadfast warrior. I call you to anchor yourself in me. Do not anchor yourself in money, for the wind can carry that away. Do not anchor yourself in people, for they can also falter. Do not anchor yourself in feelings, for they change from day to day. Anchor yourself in me, the one who never changes. When you are anchored in me, you can stand firm regardless of how the wind blows. That very steadfastness will be testimony to everyone that there is a living God who grants strength to the weak and upholds the weary. Do not only pray for me to remove every storm, pray that I would teach you to stand firm in the wind. Do not ask for life to be easier, ask for a heart that is steadier. Do not ask for a path without trials, ask for feet that are strong enough to finish the journey. I promise that when you pray like this, I will give you more than you expect. You will not merely survive the storm, you will emerge with new wings, with deeper faith, with wider love. One day you will look back and say, if not for the wind, I would not have known the Lord as my protector. If not for the trials, I would not have known him as faithful. If not for the tears, I would not have known how precious morning joy can be. Then you will realize the wind did not destroy you, it built you. It made you deeper, firmer, more like me. Be courageous, my child. The testing wind is not a sign of the end, but a sign that I am at work. Let it refine you, open your eyes, and draw you closer to me. Then you will enter a new season where faith no longer trembles but stands as firm as a rock. My beloved child, I know there are long nights when you walk and feel only darkness around you. In that darkness you feel invisible hands touching you, the hands of fear, the hands of despair, the hands of painful memories, even the hands of past sin. They try to grasp you, hold you back, pull you down. They whisper that you are not strong enough, that you have lost your way, that you are not worthy to go on. But I tell you, no hand in the dark has authority over you when my hand is holding you. I have seized you, and when I hold you, no one can snatch you out of my hand. There are times you tremble because you think you are walking alone like a small child lost in the night. But remember what I have said. I hold your right hand and say to you, do not fear, I will help you. Isaiah 4:1-3. This is not merely a comforting phrase, it is living truth. When the darkness thickens, my hand still grips yours and guides every step. You may not see the path clearly, but by feeling this hold you will know you are not alone. I know your heart has been wounded many times. Each wound leaves its mark and sometimes causes you to doubt my love. Some wounds were inflicted by others, some by the wrong choices you made yourself. Those wounds feel like invisible hands in the dark that keep you bound, making you afraid to step into the light. But hear me clearly, I do not come to judge you, but to heal you. I do not hold your hand to pull you deeper into darkness, but to lead you out. I lay my hand upon your heart to restore it, to replace brokenness with wholeness, fear with peace, bitterness with love. Darkness is not always a sign of death. Sometimes it is the place of my renewal. Just as a seed must lie in the dark earth to sprout, and as an embryo must be formed within the hidden womb to grow, so your heart needs seasons of darkness to be reshaped. You think you are losing, but in truth I am renewing. You think you are abandoned, but in truth I am rebuilding. You think the darkness devours you, but in truth I am using that darkness as an operating room where I touch every broken place, remove the old and place what is new. Remember, you cannot reset your heart by your own strength. You can patch here and cover there, but only I can renew at the root. I fashioned you at the beginning, therefore I alone have the authority to set your pulse right. When I touch you, your heart no longer beats to the rhythm of fear, but to the rhythm of hope. It no longer trembles to the cadence of the past, but rises to the tempo of the future. You will find you can love more, forgive more deeply, and live more boldly. You ask, how can I overcome these hands in the dark? They are so real, so strong. I answer, you do not need to pry them off yourself. Simply reach out your hand to me. When you lift your hand in surrender, I will pull you out. When you cry out in despair, I will answer. When you are too weak to go on, I will lift you. Your strength is not found in resisting the darkness, but in letting me hold you. And once I hold you, no power can wrench you from my grip. Think of a child in a crowd. The child may get lost, pushed, or fall, but as long as its hand is in the hand of its father, it has no fear. You are the same. When your hand is in mine, you may hear the wind howl, you may see the darkness dense, you may feel other hands strike you, but no one can snatch you away. That is my assurance. That is why I say no one will snatch them out of my hand. John 1:0-8. Let me reset your heart. Do not cling to it in confusion. Do not allow those hands of darkness to steer it. Surrender it to me. When you give it over, I will transform it. I will turn a heart full of doubt into a dwelling place for faith. I will turn a wounded heart into a spring of healing for others. I will turn a closed heart into a door that opens to love. You will find that you are no longer bound by the past, but step into the present with freedom. My child, this process is not always easy. To reset the heart means tearing down old foundations, and that can hurt. It is like raising an old house to build a new. But do not fear that pain, for it is the pain of healing. It does not destroy, it restores. And when the work is finished, you will see a new heart, strong, tender, alive. A heart that loves not by human strength, but by the current that flows from the heavens. Be brave and let me do this work. Do not hide your pain. Do not cover your wounds. Do not pretend you are well. Be honest with me, for I already know everything. Bring me each wound and I will touch it. Give me permission to remove every dark hand from you, and you will be free. You will come to know true peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding. Beloved, I see every stir in your mind. There are nights when you toss and turn as if invisible hands are slipping in, trying to seize your thoughts and drag you into the whirlpool of anxiety. Those hands are not visible, yet they feel so real that they press on your chest. They whisper lies. You are not good enough. You will fail. You cannot endure. No one cares for you. If you listen long enough, your heart begins to tremble and believe them. But I come to tell you, those whispers do not come from me. They are echoes of darkness. Do not let them define you. Who you are is not determined by the dark, but by the light I have placed within you. You ask, how can I tell my voice from the voice of darkness? Hear this. My voice always brings peace, even when I correct. My voice does not plunge you into despair. It draws you nearer to hope. My voice does not condemn, but invites repentance that leads to freedom. The voice of darkness sows fear, magnifies failure, and erodes worth. It is like hands trying to strangle your heart, keeping you chained in invisible bonds. Be vigilant, for it does not always shout. More often it sneaks in as a whisper that sounds like your own thoughts. Remember, you are not obliged to take hold of those hands. They may reach, but you have the right to refuse. I have given you spiritual armor to fight, the helmet of salvation to guard your mind, and the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. Each time a lie whispers, answer with truth. When it says you are worthless, declare, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When it says you have been abandoned, declare, I will never leave you nor forsake you. When it says you cannot, proclaim, I can do all things through the one who strengthens me. In that very moment you are unfastening the dark hands and grasping my hand. My child, resetting the heart cannot be separated from renewing the mind. If your mind remains bound by lies, your heart will forever tremble. But if your mind is set on truth, your heart will beat to a new rhythm. This is not merely a change of thinking. It is transformation from the root. I do not want you to try to think positive by your own effort, for that is only a superficial coat of paint. I want my Spirit to inscribe my words on your mind, so that every thought is filtered through truth. Then darkness will find no foothold, and your heart will live in genuine freedom. You may say, but Lord, the darkness is too strong. I am still pulled. I tell you, darkness is powerful only when you consent to its grip. It possesses no independent authority. Its power lies in your belief in it. When you refuse, when you say no and choose to hold my hand, its strength dissolves. You do not fight alone. I am there strengthening you, equipping you, and fighting with you. What is required is your steadfast obedience to me. When you submit, you have authority to resist. When you resist, darkness must flee. There are wounds in your heart that have lingered so long they feel like scars that will never heal. But I say, no wound is too deep, no memory too dark for me to touch. Darkness tries to hold them like shackles, but I come to unlock them. I come to turn the very places of your pain into testimony of my healing. When I lay my hand upon you, you will see hurt become strength, tears become seeds of hope. You will rise not as a victim, but as a witness. I know the darkness seems so real that you think escape is impossible, but remember, light does not need to be loud to dispel shadow. It simply needs to be lit. I am that source of light, and I dwell within you. When you open your heart, light will shine forth. Every time you pray, you are turning on a lamp. Every time you worship, you are kindling a flame. Every time you speak the truth, darkness retreats another step. Do not despise small steps. They are how day by day you remove those dark hands from your life. My child, your heart was not made to be held captive by the dark. It was made to beat in freedom, to love, to reflect me. Do not believe that darkness has the final word. The final word belongs to me, and I have declared you are mine. You belong to the light. So stand up, take my hand. Let me reset your heart, set it to a new rhythm, a rhythm of trust, peace, and hope. Then you will see that the darkness no longer terrifies you but becomes the stage on which my light is displayed. Beloved, the hands in the darkness never aim merely to frighten. They want to possess you, to control your heart and your thoughts. They seek to pull you away from the light so you forget who you belong to. But know this, in those very moments I am drawing near more than ever. I do not only remove each hand from you, I place my own hand upon your heart to re-establish it, so it no longer beats to the cadence of fear, but to the tempo of faith. I do not want your heart to be merely a biological organ that beats for the sake of the body. I want it to become an altar, where a continual flame burns, where love pours forth, where peace is a fire that never goes out. To make this so, I must reset it. Know this, what darkness touches is not the end, but an opportunity for me to display a new work of creation. I am the one who turned deserts into gardens, who made dry bones into a vast army. Surely I can transform your heart, even if it was once held in shadow, into a place of glory. Remember, an instrument whose strings are out of tune can no longer sound true. But when the true artist takes his hands and adjusts each string, that instrument is not only restored, it rings out with a fuller melody than before. Your heart is the same. The dark hands have slackened the strings of your life, thrown your tune off key. But I, the eternal musician, am tightening and tuning each string. This process may be uncomfortable, there will be stretching, unfastening, adjustment, but trust me, when the work is finished, your heart will sing a new song, a harmony that heaven itself will sing along with. You once thought darkness had won, that wounds were too deep, that painful memories would never fade. But I tell you, there is nothing too deep for me to reach. There is no night so dense that my light cannot shine through. There is no hand stronger than my hand. I have inscribed your name upon the palms of my hands, Isaiah 4:9-16, and no power can erase it. Darkness may attempt to dull that truth, but it cannot remove the mark I have placed upon you. I want you to understand why I allowed you to pass through the darkness and through those hands. It was not to drive you to despair, but to teach you how to discern the real from the false. If you had never gone through it, you would be prone to believe every whisper, thinking some came from yourself or even from me. But through the experience, you learn to listen more carefully. You learn to recognize my voice with greater clarity, and you stand firmer. You will no longer be easily deceived, for you have felt the grasp of darkness, and you now know how my hand on you is different. Once you have tasted the truth, you will not return to lies. Picture this: a person walks through a dark tunnel, bound by invisible chains. Then at the tunnel's end, a shaft of light appears. The person moves toward it, and with each step, the shackles weaken. As the light draws nearer, the dark hands cannot hold on, and they are forced to let go. The one who was bound steps into the light, breathes a new breath, and knows that freedom has come. You are that person. Your journey may be long and the darkness thick, but my light is always at the end of the path. If you persist in walking, you will break free from every bondage. Child of mine, resetting the heart is not merely healing, it is an upgrade. I do not only bandage wounds, I replace the heart itself with a new one. As I promised, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Ezekiel 3:6-6. This is not merely metaphor, it is a spiritual reality. The new heart I give you cannot be easily seized by darkness, for it bears the imprint of the Spirit. It beats to the rhythm of heaven, no longer enslaved to the lies of old memories. It becomes resilient against attack, yet tender to my leading. The enemy has often thought he held the victory. He believed that when you stumbled, you would not rise again. He thought that when you wept, you would lose faith. He hoped that when you were hurt, you would shut your heart. But again and again I have lifted you. And the wonder is this: you have not merely survived, you have become stronger. That is what makes the enemy tremble, because he sees that every scheme of his has become the raw material I use to refine you. What he intended for destruction, I have turned into a stepping stone for your ascent. So leave the past behind. Do not cling to those old hands, to the memories that once imprisoned you. Give them all to me. Open your heart and let me place in you a new heart. You will find you can love even those who once hurt you, because my love surpasses your strength. You will find you can forgive what seemed impossible, for forgiveness will no longer be a burden but a gift from me. You will discover strength in your weakness, for your power comes from me. And you will realize that this new heart is not only for you, it is meant so that you become a source of life for others. Imagine a lamp that was once kept in a dark box is now set high to illuminate the whole room. That is the picture of you after your heart has been renewed. Others will look at you and see the light. They will see someone who was once bound in darkness, now walking in freedom. They will ask, "What changed?" And the answer will be, "God put his hand upon my heart and made it new." Your life will become a testimony louder and more convincing than any sermon. I want you to engrave this truth upon your soul. Darkness does not have the final word. The past does not have the authority to determine the future. The hands that once held you no longer possess power over you. Only my hand holds ultimate authority. And that hand is upon you not to press you down but to lift you up, not to condemn but to bless, not to keep you in darkness but to lead you into eternal light. Therefore step out, let the dark hands fall away, and grasp my hand. Let me reset your heart so that from this day forward it will not beat to the rhythm of fear, but to the rhythm of freedom. You will notice a change. Light will blaze forth, and you will know what darkness meant for your end I have used to open a new beginning. My beloved, I know you have walked through deep nights when darkness was not merely outside your window, but had crept into your very core. Those nights stretched on, as if dawn would never come. Every prayer seemed to evaporate into the void. Hope flickered as if it had been snuffed out. Your heart asked, "Does the Lord hear? Is he still there?" In that dense silence, you assumed the answer was absence. But I say to you today, it is precisely in the deepest night that my light shines most brilliantly. The darker the night, the more conspicuous my light. Night is not proof that I have abandoned you. It is the backdrop against which my glory shines. Look up at the night sky. When the sun still rides high, the stars hide their light. But when night falls, they burst forth and reveal their true beauty. So it is with me. In the bright hours of ease, you may hardly notice my presence yet. When the night grows deep, when darkness gathers and you have nothing left to grasp, then my light becomes unmistakable. That light is not a vague consolation. It is the strength that keeps you standing, the lamp that guides you hour by hour, the flame that warms your heart. My light is not like the light of the world. Worldly light depends on circumstances bright in ease, extinguished in trial. My light is eternal. It is not bounded by place or time. It is not swallowed by the dark. Even when you close your eyes in tears, that light still shines. And the miracle is this: that light does not merely shine for you. It makes you a source of light for others who walk in the night. You are the light of the world, Matthew 5:1-4. That is not only a calling, but a truth I have placed within you. You may ask, Lord, where is that light when I suffer? Why do I not see it? I want you to know the light has not gone. It is your eyes that have grown accustomed to the dark. Like a person entering a pitch-black room who at first sees nothing, but whose eyes slowly adjust until the smallest glimmers become visible, so too when you wait patiently and stop to listen, my light will reveal itself. It may not blaze all at once, but it will be enough to lead you one step at a time. I do not promise you a vision of the whole road at once, but I promise you the light sufficient for the next step. Remember the Israelites in the wilderness. By day, they were sheltered by a pillar of cloud, and by night they were guided by a pillar of fire. The pillar of fire did not turn night into day, yet it was enough for them to know the way and to move forward. You are the same. I do not always change night into day at once, but I set a light amid the darkness, so you will not lose your way. That light is my word, it is my spirit, it is the whispered prayer in your heart. You may consider it small, but it is what keeps you from being swallowed by the dark. I want you to change the way you see the deep night. Do not treat it as an enemy, but as the opportunity for light to be revealed. Without night, you would never see the stars. Without darkness, you would never appreciate how precious light truly island. Without tears, you would never taste how sweet my consolation can be. I do not send the night to drive you into despair, but to provide the backdrop against which my light can be made known. And it is through your passage, through the deep night, that you will be able to testify to others. The true light exists. I have seen it in my own darkness. Let my light shine not only upon you, but through you. The deep night is not only for teaching you trust, it is also for shaping you into a source of hope for those who walk in darkness. They will see the light in your life and know that a living God remains. Do not despise the power of a small lamp. Your lamp may be the single thing that keeps someone from sinking into despair. A prayer you utter and embrace, you offer a verse of scripture, you share a song of praise, you lift up. Any of these can become a light in another's night. When you allow my light to shine through you, you participate in heaven's great work, driving away the darkness from one heart at a time. I know you sometimes ask, will this night ever end? I promise you the dawn will come. The deep night is temporary. However long it lasts, it will not endure forever. I have set an appointed time for all things. Tears may fall throughout the night, but joy will come in the morning. Psalm 3:05. This promise is as certain as the rising Sunday. You cannot stop the dawn, and no one can prevent my light from breaking through your life. Therefore stand firm. Do not give up in the night, for the morning is drawing near. I do not say that waiting in the night is easy. I know the moments when you want to let go, to surrender. Yet it is precisely in those moments that I hold you most closely. You may not sense it, but I am lifting you. You may not hear it, but I am singing your soul to rest with a lullaby of peace. You may feel utterly alone, but in truth you lie within my arms. If you would listen more deeply, you would hear the whisper, "Do not be afraid. I am here. I have never left you." The deep night is not meant to drown you, but to make you steadfast, more radiant, more like me. When you come forth from the night, you will not be the same as before. You will become a flame, a steady source of light. Others will see in you not merely traces of darkness, but the proof of light. And you will know that in the depth of the night I did my most marvelous work within you, turning weakness into strength, tears into seeds, darkness into the setting for light to be revealed. Beloved child, the light I give is not only to help you find your way through the dark, it is to reshape you. You are not only a receiver of light, you are called to be light. The deep night did not come to devour you, but to show that the light within you is stronger than the darkness around you. Each time you persevere in trial, each time you choose trust over fear, you allow that light to spread, and that light never stops with you. It radiates outward and illuminates others who are lost. Picture a single candle in a dark room. When it is lit, it does not only illuminate its own little flame, it casts light across the whole room. Others can find their way because of that light. So when you stand firm in the deep night, your life becomes a lamp for those who are searching. You may not realize it, but the light you carry is a hope for someone else. A prayer you offer, an act of love you give away, a song of praise you raise amid suffering, all become rays that break apart the darkness. Light never comes to boast, it comes to illumine. I do not call you to be a lamp so that people will glorify you. but so that they will find their way to me. When the light within you shines, remember the source is not you but me. You are the vessel, I am the flame. Yet your faithfulness keeps the lamp burning and makes the light visible. People will observe what you do, and they will recognize the one who placed the light within you. Stand firm then, and be the light I have given. Let the deep night become the place where my glory is most clearly seen, and let your life testify that even in darkness the light of God endures. You may ask, "But Lord, I still feel small and weak. How can I become a light to others?" I want you to know it is precisely in your weakness that my light shines most brightly. A broken lamp can reveal a powerful light from within. Likewise, through your cracks my light pours out. Others do not need a perfect person. They need to see a real person who has walked through darkness yet still stands firm because of my light. That is more convincing than any sermon because it is living testimony. My child, the light in the deep night not only comforts, it also trains. It teaches you to see life differently. When your eyes grow accustomed to my light, you will no longer be deceived by the illusions of darkness. You will see clearly that the enemy can threaten but cannot conquer. You will learn to view every trial as an opportunity, every loss as the foundation for something new, and every tear as a seed. Light changes the way you see, and when vision changes, so does your heart. Remember that the deep night does not last forever. Dawn will come, but the most precious thing you receive is not only the morning light, it is the experience of light in the night. After you pass through, you will not be the same. You will carry a new endurance, a deeper faith, a softer heart. Others will notice that change, and they will find hope in you. You will become a witness to the truth that real light exists, and it is stronger than every darkness. Know that light is not given merely to help you survive a season of deep night and then stop. It is given to shape a mission within you. That light does not stop at you, it flows through you to others. Each night you have endured serves not just to refine you, but to equip you to be a testimony for those still lost. I never allow your pain to be meaningless. Every tear, every fall, every time you rise again, all become rays of light, so that when you meet a soul who is drowning, you can say, "I understand. I have been in the dark too, but the light found me." Light proves its reality most when tested by darkness. Anyone can speak of hope in daylight, but only one who has passed through the night can speak with authority, and you are that one. Your voice will carry power, not because you are perfect, but because you have tasted the dark and yet remain. That makes the enemy tremble because it knows you are no longer easily shaken. You have learned the difference between true light and false light, between worldly hope and the hope that comes from me. Think of Paul in prison. Chains could not steal his song of praise. The darkness of the jail could not extinguish his inner light. And that light made the guards tremble, and even the guards' household were saved. In the same way, your deep night is not the end, but a stage for light to be revealed. When you sing praises in the dark, you move heaven and earth. When you pray amid suffering, you open heaven's door. When you trust in anxiety, you demonstrate to the world that light is more powerful than darkness. I know you have often asked, "Why me? Why has this deep night come upon me?" But I tell you, it is because you are chosen. You are chosen to carry light into the circumstances where many would give up. You are chosen to prove that faith is not merely a theory but reality. You are chosen so that your life may be a lamp for those who cannot find the way out. Do not think I chose you because you are strong. I chose you because through your weakness my light will be made more evident. My child, the light I placed in you is not only for you to find your path, but to make you an instrument. Remember, I called you the light of the world, Matthew 5:1-4. That is not praise, but confirmation of a mission. When you step out of the night, do not hoard the light, share it. Tell others what I have done in you. Let that light become a source of hope for broken hearts. Do not fear being weak. Light never runs dry when it is shared. The more you give it away, the more it burns. Do imagine you are the translator. Here is an accurate, reverent English rendering of the passage kept in paragraph form, not broken into tiny sentences, and preserving the sacred, persuasive tone. Do not forget, the darkness will not stop trying to return. It will test again and again, seeking any crack, any moment when you are weary. But remember, you are different now. You have learned how to light the lamp. You have learned how to stand firm. You have tasted the light and cannot go back into darkness. Keep my words as the oil for your lamp. Let prayer be the lamp's heart, and let worship be the breath that causes the flame to leap. As you guard these, no deep night will ever extinguish the light within you again. Where once each long night made you tremble, now they have become reminders that the light is about to burst forth. Each time the darkness thickens, know that dawn draws nearer. You will no longer panic as before, but will say, Lord, I know you are here. I do not see everything, but I believe. That is true power, not the absence of darkness, but the presence of faith amidst it. Let your life be a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not remove the storm, yet it shows the way to vessels at sea. So you cannot dispel every night of the world, but you can cast a light so others may find the path to me. And when they find it, they will know that the light does not come from you alone, but from me within you. You are but the vessel. I am the source of light. When you remain faithful and keep the vessel pure, the light will shine all the clearer. Beloved, the light shining in the deep night is testimony that I am still at work. You need not wait until dawn to praise. Praise me, even in the night. You need not wait for the darkness to vanish to believe. Believe while the night remains. You need not see the outcome to hope. Hope when all is dim, for it is then that the true light shines forth, and it is then that you become a living witness to the world that God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. 1 John 1:5. My beloved, I know you have passed through long nights when darkness seemed endless and waiting wore your heart thin. But now I bid you open your eyes and see, dawn is coming. The first rays have already begun to pierce the veil of night. The morning breath is stirring the air. Do you not hear the birds heralding the new day? That is heaven's echo, announcing to your soul that a new season is beginning. This dawn does not merely change the sky, it changes you. It is the sign that the transformation I promised draws near. Dawn never arrives in haste. It comes gradually yet surely. You may glimpse the heavy darkness in the final hours of the night, but that too is a sign that dawn is very near. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm 3:05. This is not merely a lovely phrase, but an immutable truth. Darkness cannot prevent the dawn. It can only prolong itself until the light rises. And now, O child, that light is coming to you. Dawn is not only an outward change, but an inward renewal. Often I allow the night to linger, not because I am slow, but because I am doing deep work within you. Just as a seed requires time in the dark soil to germinate, so you need the night for your faith's roots to take hold. When dawn comes, you will step not merely into a new day, but into the fruition of the work conceived in the night. Dawn confirms that the process was not in vain. Think of Joseph. Long years in prison, forgotten and misunderstood, that was his deep night. Yet in a single day the dawn came. He rose from prisoner to ruler over all Egypt. Dawn did not only change his situation, it proved that every tear and every trial before had been preparation. So it is with you. Your dawn will not only end the pain, but will mark the beginning of a greater commission. I want you to remember that dawn is not merely light, but awakening. When the light shines, you see what has been hidden, the path, the purpose, the truth of who you are. Dawn comes, so you will no longer live in haze, but in clarity. It draws you out of the illusions of night into a new reality ordained by me. Many fear change because they cling to the familiar, even if that familiar is darkness. But I call you out of the old into the new. Dawn is never the same as night. The new light will compel you to adjust, to open your eyes, and to walk forward in faith. Do not be afraid of change, for it proves you are alive. Only what is dead remains motionless. Life always moves. I give you abundant life, and so your dawn is not simply an escape, but an entrance. I know that when you hear change, you may worry, will I be enough? Am I ready? Rest in this. I do not call you into anything for which I have not prepared you. Dawn does not come to overwhelm, but to mature you. Every new ray will light the way. Every step will have me beside you. You do not walk into the new alone. I go before you, I stand. With you I follow to protect. Your dawn is my plan, and my plans are always good. O child, dawn also signals a new cycle. Yesterday, with its failures, tears, and mistakes, has passed. A new day opens with new opportunities. I do not bind you to the past. I give you a future. Dawn is my word to you. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:1-8-19. That new work is beginning within you now. You need not remain haunted by what has been, for I have forgiven and made you free to live in the light of the new day. Remember that dawn not only alters the sky, but renews the atmosphere. When light comes, the morning mist fades and the breeze softens. The air becomes fresh. This picture shows spiritual renewal. When dawn arrives, not only will your circumstances shift, but your mind will be renewed. Negative thoughts give way to hope. Fear retreats before trust. Heaviness lifts to reveal peace. You will breathe in a new atmosphere, the atmosphere of heaven. My beloved child, receive this dawn with an open heart. Do not close your eyes to the light because you fear its brightness. Do not turn your back simply because you are used to the dark. Open your heart and say, Lord, I am ready. When you do, the light will flood every corner of you, healing wounds, revealing pathways, and awakening dreams that have long lain asleep. Dawn brings not only the new, but also restores what you thought was lost. It awakens potential, stirs vision, and rekindles the love you hold for me and for others. I want you to know that your dawn is not meant for you alone. When you step into the new day, others will notice the change in you. They will ask, what has happened? And you can say, it is the Lord who has done this. Your testimony will be light to them, and your dawn will become a source of hope for many. Do not underestimate the influence of a renewed life. One person touched by the dawn can change an entire generation. Stand up, receive the light, let my dawn cover you. The night has passed, the day has come. Do not carry the fears of the night into the morning. Do not let the memories of darkness obscure the light. Walk forward with the confidence that I am with you, and that this dawn is not a matter of chance, but of my design. And if I have ordained it, no power can stop it. This is only the beginning. The dawn of change does not end with this morning. It opens a whole new journey. You will see more light, more life, more glory. But it all begins at this moment, the moment you recognize that the night has passed and the dawn has come. Engrave this in your heart. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:2-4. Beloved one, perhaps in your heart there has been a whisper that all this is mere imagination, that the dawn I promised is only a beautiful dream. But I want you to know the truth. My word is not an illusion. Dawn is not a vague fantasy, but a reality ordained from everlasting. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Matthew 2:4-3-5. What you are waiting for is not the fruit of imagination, but the outcome of a divine plan I set in motion for you even before you were born. People may doubt because their eyes see only the visible, but I work also in the unseen. When Moses stood before the Red Sea, the people trembled and said he had led them into a dead end. All they saw was death, not life. Yet the dawn of change broke when the sea parted. What they called imagination became a dry path to freedom. Likewise, the dawn I promised you is not an apparition. It is the real road that will open before your eyes, even though now it may be veiled by the fog of trials. Remember, the dawn of change is not merely an emotional moment, but complete renewal. It transforms how you perceive life, how you understand yourself, and how you face circumstances. When the light shines in, what once confused you becomes clear. The chains that bound your thinking will dissolve. You will see that even in what appeared to be failure, I have been arranging a greater plan. Dawn does not come simply to adorn a broken reality. It comes to rebuild, renew, and bring life back to what was withered. I know you have heard scoffing words. He is deceiving himself. He thinks a miracle will fix everything. But remember, I am the God of miracles. What I do surpasses human understanding. Do you think Noah was mocked when he built an ark on dry land? People called him a fool. Yet when the rain came, the dawn of change for all humanity began from that very ark. So do not be surprised when others do not understand. Do not be shaken by contempt. For what I do is often deemed impossible until it happens. Child of mine, I do not promise that the dawn will come in the way you imagine. It may not arrive with triumphant fanfare, but come softly like morning mist. Yet you will know it, for the change will be unmistakable. Your mind will see differently. Your heart will beat differently. Your steps will change. You will no longer carry the same fear or the same despair. My dawn does not merely repaint the sky. It alters the very hues of your soul. And when others look at you, they will see the light in your eyes and perceive that something has shifted. My child, this dawn is not for fleeting joy, but for a firm foundation. It sets you upon the rock so that when storms later rise, you will stand. You will remember, I have passed through the deep night. I have seen the light. I know the Lord is real. And no argument or falsehood can take that away from you. The dawn becomes living testimony that faith is not imagination, but a truth verified in your life. The dawn of change also brings healing. Not only healing of the body or circumstances, but first and foremost, healing of the soul. The spiritual wounds, the painful memories, the emptiness you thought could never be filled, my light will penetrate and renew them. I will turn ash into a crown, mourning into garments of praise, sorrow into joy. This is real work, not a dream. You will feel a relief you could not manufacture by your own effort. That above all will be the clearest sign that my dawn has come. My child, dawn does more than heal the individual. It heals relationships. When the light comes, it melts the frost in the heart, enabling you to forgive, to mend, to open your heart again. Relationships once cracked by misunderstanding and hurt will be given a chance to be rebuilt. Dawn does not simply give light to one person, but to the whole household, to the whole community. Others will perceive the change in you and be drawn into that light. This is how I advance my kingdom, beginning with one renewed person, then a family, then an entire generation. Remember that dawn does not come to varnish the darkness, but to replace it. Night may linger, but when the light rises, darkness must withdraw. Likewise, the fears, doubts, and accusations in your mind will no longer have power when your dawn arrives. You will learn to say, I am no longer a prisoner of the night. I belong to the light. This is not an empty affirmation, but a new reality I give you. You will live in truth, and that truth will set you free. Do not let the scorn of others cause you to doubt the dawn I have promised. Do not allow the laughter of the world to extinguish your faith. For the light does not need people's belief in order to appear. It appears because I have ordained it. When the sun rises, no one can stop it. Your dawn is the same. It will come not by your strength but by my power. And when it comes, both you and those around you will have to acknowledge this is the work of God. Prepare your heart. Receive the dawn not as an illusion but as an assured reality. Rise up, breathe deep, and walk in the light. Do not look back at the night with regret. Look forward with hope. Do not fear that you are insufficient. The light I give is enough. Do not worry that you are unready. I have prepared you. Do not assume you dream. Know that you live in the truth I bestow, and that truth will shine all the brighter as you continue walking in me. My beloved, when the dawn appears, it is not merely a change of scenery, but a summons to enter a new life. Many admire the sunrise and praise its beauty, yet continue to live as before. But I do not call you merely to gaze, I call you to participate. The dawn of transformation is a doorway, and you are invited to step through to live differently, more deeply, and more fully within my will. This change is not only to bring you relief after a long night, it is to make you a witness. With each new day that unfolds, you carry the story. I walked through the darkness and the light found me. That story will encourage those still immersed in night. They need to see with their own eyes that someone crossed over and survived. You will be the proof. The dawn in your life will not only illuminate you but will serve as a lighthouse for those seeking a way out. Do not think that you must be perfect before you can share the light. On the contrary, your scars will become powerful testimony. Others will see that you were wounded and have been healed, that you fell and were lifted up, that you once wandered in darkness but now walk in the light. That is an indisputable witness. For we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. 2 Corinthians 4:7. Your dawn is the way I reveal that great power through a fragile vessel. I do not call you to live in the light for your own enjoyment alone. I call you to spread it. The light that is shared never diminishes. The more it is given away, the more radiant it becomes. When you tell your story, when you dare declare what I have done, you kindle hope in others' hearts. And when many small lamps are joined together, the whole night sky blazes. This is how I transform a generation, beginning with little dawns in individual lives that gather and swell into a tidal wave of light. My child, dawn also demands commitment. You cannot continue living as if you were still in the night. Night has taught you many things, but now the light calls you to a different posture. Where night made you pray through tears, dawn bids you pray in faith. Where night makes you cling to survive, dawn calls you to step forward and conquer. Where night silenced you in fear, dawn calls you to lift your voice in praise. This is genuine change, moving from defensive survival to triumphant living. I know you sometimes fear this light will fade, that dawn is only fleeting. But I assure you the light I give does not perish like the Sunday. It is not altered by clouds or weather. It is eternal because I am the source of light. The dawn you see is not a mere moment, but the beginning of an ongoing journey. If you keep walking in me, you will never return to the old darkness. Trials may come, but the light will always be there to guide you. Let this transformation soak into every area of your life. Do not let it stop at emotions or thoughts. Let it affect the way you speak, the way you act, the way you love. Let this dawn become the driving force that leads you to live more righteously, more generously, and more steadfastly. Each decision you make in the light will become a step that affirms you truly belong to the new day. And each such step will strengthen you, so you are no longer easily shaken by the darkness. Yet do not forget that dawn brings responsibility. When you step out from the deep night, others will look to you for hope. Do not treat that as a burden. See it as a privilege. For I do not save you for yourself alone, but to make you an instrument for others. You will be called to pray, to encourage, to uplift. And in the moment you help others, the light within you shines ever brighter. That is the principle of the kingdom. It is more blessed to give than to receive. My child, this dawn is also a time for sowing. This is the moment to plant seeds of faith, of hope, of love. What you sow on this new day will blossom in the season to come. Do not waste this morning. Use it to build, to begin to restore. For when the light is fresh, it is easier for you to cultivate good habits, healthy relationships, and holy dreams. This is the season of sowing, and the harvest will come, a season of joy, a season of blessing, a season of abundant fruit. This dawn is a gift, but it is also a summons. I call you to step forth bolder, firmer, and more wholly devoted. Do not merely enjoy the warmth, bring that warmth to others. Do not worship alone, lead the community into worship. Do not live only for yourself, live for the great purpose I have ordained. When you do so, you will discover that your dawn does not merely change one life, but many lives. I am not only the God of the night, but also the God of the day. I was with you in the darkness, and I will be with you in the light. Do not think that you must now walk alone. No, I continue to walk beside you step by step, hour by hour. Dawn is not separation, but continuation. The continuation of a relationship proven in the night and now expressed in the day. And that relationship will be your greatest strength in every change. Stand up, take a deep breath in this new morning. Feel the fresh breeze of the day. Let your heart sing, "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Psalm 118:4. And from that joy step out not as one of the night, but as a child of the light. Beloved child, now I declare to you the harvest season has come. Not an ordinary reaping, but a glorious harvest, a season in which what you sowed in faith will now yield overflowing fruit. You did not pass through the deep night in vain. All has been kept in the heavenly storehouses, and now I open them to reward you. The glorious harvest does not arrive instantly, nor in the way the world expects. It comes according to my rhythm, the rhythm of the seasons. As the farmer waits for the seed to decay into the soil, as the tiller of the field patiently awaits spring and autumn rains, so you have persevered. And now I will not let that perseverance be for nothing. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. Psalm 126:5. This is my promise to you, and it is coming to pass in your life. My child, the glorious harvest is not only outward blessings, wealth, health, success, but first and foremost, a spiritual transformation. Your heart is now filled with a peace the world cannot give. Your mind is now clearer, no longer deceived by darkness. Your faith has been refined like gold through fire. These are the most precious fruits. For wealth can be lost, health can change, but what I have sown in your heart, no one can take away. Do not forget the season of harvest is not only for you, but also for those around you. Every faithful act, every persistent prayer of yours has sown seed for the next generation. Like an ancient tree that grows not only for itself, but for shade, for fruit, and for the birds that find shelter, so you also, your harvest, will become shelter and nourishment for many. People will find life in what you quietly planted. I know there are moments when you doubt the value of what you do. You have asked, does my small prayer really make a difference? Are my unseen tears recorded? I answer yes. Everything is recorded in the book of life. No act of love is useless. No intercessory prayer is void. No sacrifice is unrewarded. All of them come together, and now in this glorious harvest, you will see what I have prepared beyond imagination. My child, the glorious harvest is also the season in which I manifest my power plainly. There are things you thought would never change that will now be turned around. Doors that were once shut will open. Walls that seemed impregnable will fall. Those you have prayed for but have not yet seen reached will now be touched. This is not your work but mine, yet it happens because you faithfully sowed. I do not promise that the glorious harvest will be without challenge. On the contrary, abundance sometimes brings responsibility. Just as the farmer must labor to reap, so you will be called to commitment. But know this responsibility travels with blessing, and this blessing is not a burden but a source of joy. For you will see the fruit of years of perseverance, and that joy will fill every weariness. When you look back, you will say, "Truly the Lord has done great things for me." Prepare your heart for generosity. The glorious harvest is not only for you to keep, but for you to share. When you give, you continue to sow, and the cycle of life keeps moving. Others will be touched by your harvest, and they will in turn become sowers for the next generation. This is the spreading of glory I have ordained. It does not stop with one individual, but reaches across communities, nations, and the world. I call this season the glorious harvest, not merely because it is beautiful, but because it reflects my glory. When people see the harvest in your life, they will not say, "You are great," but they will say, "God is great." And that is the purpose of it all. Glory belongs to me, and blessings are given to you. You are both the recipient and the reflector. This is the highest honor I bestow upon you. This harvest is also confirmation of the promises I made long ago. Perhaps you thought I had forgotten, but I never forgot. Perhaps you thought I delayed, yet I was arranging. Now, when you see the fruit, you will understand that every waiting had its value. You will look back and say, "Had there been no night, I would not have treasured the dawn. Had there been no sowing in tears, I would not have known how to reap in joy." My child, I want you to enter this season not with hesitation, but with gratitude. Give thanks for every seed sown, for every tear shed, for every prayer spoken. For all of these have come together to create this harvest. Let your heart be offered as a sacrifice of praise, and I will fill you with overflowing joy. Beloved child, I have told you that the glorious harvest has come, and now I want you to understand more deeply. The harvest is not only a reward, but also a responsibility. For every seed you sowed in tears has now sprung into fruit, and that fruit must be stewarded, shared, and used for its intended purpose. A farmer does not only rejoice at seeing the fields heavy with grain, he must also know how to harvest, preserve, and distribute. Likewise, you are not called merely to rejoice in this season, but to be a faithful manager of what I have given. Some think the harvest is merely for enjoyment, but if the fruit is hoarded for oneself, it will spoil. Fruit is given to nourish, to continue sowing to sustain life. Therefore, I want you to understand the blessings you receive are not only for you, but for your family, your community, and the generations to come. When you share, you extend life. When you give, you sow new seeds and pave the way for the next harvest. I never give you more than you can steward. What you are seeing, whether much or little, fits within the capacity and the grace I have placed in you. Do not compare your harvest with another's. Each person has their own field. Each has their own season. What I look at is not quantity, but faithfulness. A sheaf offered with thanksgiving is more precious than a whole field kept out of selfishness. The glorious harvest is also a season for vigilance, for the enemy will seek to sabotage. When you begin to reap, he will sow pride, so that you believe the fruit is your achievement. Or he will sow fear, so you worry the season will pass and never return. But remember, the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. You need not fear loss nor be lifted up in pride. Stand in the truth that all things come from me, and you are only the steward. I know there will be times when the harvest appears too great, too much for you to know where to begin. Be at peace, for I do not call you to reap alone. I have placed co-workers beside you, brothers and sisters in the faith, ready to support and share the labor. Be humble enough to cooperate, for the glorious harvest is never a solitary work but a communal one. When you are united, the fruit will be gathered fully, and the joy will be multiplied. Know also that the glorious harvest is not only the present, but shapes the future. What you do with the fruit today will determine the next season. If you keep it all, it will rot. But if you sow again, you will have a new harvest. This is an unchanging principle, sowing and reaping. So do not let this season close in mere consumption. Let it open a new cycle of life. In this way, your life will not have a single harvest, but many seasons each, more radiant than the last. My child, the season of glorious harvest also brings an opportunity for you to publicly glorify me. Many have watched your journey through the deep nights. They have seen you fall. They have heard your prayers. They have witnessed the tears. Now when they see the harvest, they will ask, "Who has done this?" And you will have the chance to say, "It is my God." That is how my glory is revealed, not by empty sermons, but through an authentic life. You will become living evidence that my word is true. My child, the season of glorious harvest does not only change you, it also changes those around you. Your family, your friends, even those who once doubted you will be touched. They will be unable to deny the truth that there is a God at work, and when they recognize it, they too will begin to sow. In this way, your season of glorious harvest becomes the starting point for the harvests of many others. I am the Lord of the harvest. I do not only give the seed, I also send the rain, the light, and the good soil. Without me, the seed would die, but through me it lives and bears fruit. Therefore, when you see the fruit, give praise to me. Do not forget the one who has walked with you through every step from sowing to reaping. Gratitude is the way to keep the harvest whole. The grateful will never lack because they know who the true source of Supply Island. The season of glorious harvest is also the time for you to discern clearly between true fruit and tares. During the reaping, the enemy sometimes sows weeds among the field. They may look like grain, yet they do not produce seed. They may appear green, yet they do not sustain life. I will grant you wisdom to distinguish so that you do not confuse or keep what bears no benefit. Do not fear, for I am the master of the season. I will teach you how to choose. My child, enjoy the joy of this season, but do not fall asleep. Let joy become the strength that propels you into the new phase. Let the fruit become seed for future seasons. Let abundance become an opportunity to share. When you do this, your life will never again fall into the cycle of lack, but will remain in the stream of overflowing life. This season of glorious harvest is not an end, but a springboard for a greater journey. It does not merely prove that you have overcome, it confirms that you are ready for greater responsibilities. I do not only give you fruit, I give you a calling. And from this season you will step out not only as a reaper, but as a leader, a sower, and a trainer for the generations to come. This is true glory, not merely holding fruit in your hands, but seeing fruit multiply across generations. My beloved child, I have led you through the darkness. I have held your hand in the deep night. I have lifted you when you were weak, and now I lead you into the season of glorious harvest. This is not the end of a journey, but confirmation that you are living within my eternal plan. Every tear you once thought wasted has now become streams that water the heavy-laden fields. Every prayer that seemed silent has become songs of joy. Every long night you thought would never end has yielded to a radiant dawn, and now you are harvesting. My child, the season of glorious harvest not only proves that I am faithful, it also shows that you have truly matured. If in the deep night you only clung to me to avoid sinking, now in the light you know how to stand firm, to walk forward, and to share. This is the sign of spiritual maturity, not only to receive but to give, not only to survive but to multiply, not only to keep but to release. You have become part of the flow of grace, and that flow will never run dry. Do not forget, the season of glorious harvest is not only a tangible achievement but also an inward satisfaction. Your heart is no longer bound by fear, no longer driven by anxiety. You have learned to trust, and from that trust, peace overflows. This is the most precious reward, peace, that surpasses all understanding. Even though the world is full of turmoil and the future holds many unknowns, you stand firm because you know I am the one who brought forth this harvest, and I will preserve every other season in your life. The season of glorious harvest reminds you that everything has its time. Night has its time, dawn has its time, sowing has its time, and harvest has its time. When you learn this rhythm, you will no longer be confused by delays, nor discouraged by silence. You will understand that every silence prepares every delay, perfects every shaking, clears the way. This is wisdom that only those who have walked through a full journey can comprehend. And you, my child, have now stepped into that wisdom. My child, the season of glorious harvest is also a testimony to the world that I never abandon my people. When others look, they will not only see fruit, but the journey itself. They will ask, "How did you overcome it? How did you stand firm through the long night?" And your answer will always be, "Not by my strength, but by the grace of God." That answer will be a seed sown into their hearts, and they too will step into their own season of harvest. Know this. This harvest does not bring everything to a close, but opens a new cycle. The fruit of today will become the seed of tomorrow. When you offer, when you share, when you sow again from what you have, you are preparing for the seasons yet to come. That is the secret by which your life will never run dry. Keep sowing, keep sharing, keep trusting. In this way, your life will be like a river that never ceases to flow, always fresh, always abundant. I call this season a season of glorious harvest because the glory does not belong to you but to me. You participate in the joy, yet I alone am exalted. This is not to diminish your value but to elevate you, for when you reflect my glory, you become a light to the world. When you bow and give me praise, I lift you up. Such is the paradox of the kingdom. The more you humble yourself, the more you are honored. The more you give, the more you abound. The more you die to self, the more you live in true fullness. My beloved, let this joy be the driving force for the steps ahead. Do not regard the harvest as a resting place. Regard it as a launch pad. I taught you in the night, I forged you in the dark, and now I send you forth into the light. You are not called merely to reap, but to teach others how to sow. You are not called merely to enjoy, but to lead. This is the expansion of your mission, and from this season of glorious harvest, I will open doors you never imagined. Remember everything that has passed, not so you will fear, but so you will give thanks. Every trial was a teacher, every tear, a lesson, every failure, a brick in the foundation. All have combined to bring you to this day. When you look back, you will clearly see my hand in every detail. Nothing is random. Even what the enemy intended for harm, I turned into an instrument for good. This is powerful evidence that I am the God who makes all things work together for those who love me. Now I call you into rest that is anchored in faith, not a passive rest, but a restful assurance in my faithfulness. You do not need to wrestle to hold on to the fruit. Live in obedience, and I will keep it. Let your heart be still, for I am God. Let my peace fill you, for I am the keeper. Let joy become your strength, for the joy of the Lord is your power. My child, I close this word with an eternal promise. The season of glorious harvest is only the beginning of the everlasting life I have prepared for you. One day, when your journey below is complete, you will enter the greatest harvest, where there will be no more tears, no sorrow, no night. There every tear will be wiped away, every longing fulfilled, and every song will ring forever. Until that day, be faithful in each season, knowing that the final glory awaits. Thank you for receiving today's message. Press, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we may together receive living words, build a steadfast faith, and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.